So you're thinking about moving to the DeWitt, Michigan area, and you're wondering how close is DeWitt to everything that Lansing has to offer. Well, in this video, I'm going to take you on a map tour, kind of show you around the whole entire DeWitt city area, show you some of the popular areas within DeWitt, and then if you stay tuned until the end, I will give you some tips on where the lowest taxes as far as property taxes would be in the DeWitt area. So grab your favorite drink because we're gonna get started with this episode right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist located in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. And we get phone calls from people all the time, people who are just like you watching this channel, who are looking to move to the greater Lansing area, to the DeWitt area. So if you're looking to buy or even sell your home within the next 6 days, 60 days, even 600 days, feel free to call me, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom call. I would love to be able to talk with you and be able to discuss any of your real estate goals that you might have. And also, if you could, if this is your first time maybe exploring this channel or you've been watching this channel for a while, I would really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, also ring the bell for any notifications so that you can be the first to be notified whenever a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life comes on this channel, which right now is about a couple times a week. So if you want to be the first to know, I would highly recommend doing that. And then also, like, if you have any questions about what I'm talking about here, feel free to interact with me. I promise, go ahead and comment within the YouTube. Feel free to comment on this video, ask any questions. I will get back with you. I'm very responsive, so please feel free to interact. So without further ado, I'm going to show you around DeWitt, Michigan. I want you to be able to just kind of see the scope of the land. I'll show you its proximity to some of the major things in Lansing, such as the airport, where you would go to downtown. DeWitt is kind of at the north central spot of Lansing. It's a north central suburb of Lansing, Michigan. So without further ado, let me go ahead, bring up my screen. Okay, everybody, so I have this the map right up here. I want to kind of show you right here is where DeWitt is. You can see that. And right here is Lansing. So you can see, here's all the highways. If you've looked at some of my former map videos, you can see right here is 69, 96. So DeWitt is located right where I-69 is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit more just so now that we've seen where it is in proximity to Lansing area. Now you can see just more the scale version of DeWitt, just a much larger picture of it. And the one thing I want you to keep in mind, because you kind of saw there in Lansing its proximity. I mean, DeWitt, when you get on the highway and you start going to Lansing, it's probably going to take you about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what traffic is like and depending on where you live in DeWitt. But DeWitt, even though it's a smaller community, they have 3 exits on the highway. So, and I think that's kind of impressive, just given the size that DeWitt is. DeWitt really has in the township maybe about 15,000 people there, and just so there's, just to be able to have 3 exits on the highway is kind of cool, I feel. So right here is exit number 1, which is where Airport Road is. Airport Road goes all the way up into DeWitt and go upwards north to St. John's. Here is where the second exit is, which is where DeWitt Road is. These 2 exits are, if you want to look at a scale difference, these 2 exits are within like a mile apart of each other. And then you get to the third exit right over here, which is, you can see here, this road is Old US 27. This road, you can take all the way up to like St. John's. If you're following my red line here, St. John's, you can take that all the way up to there, and it's about 15 miles north there. So 3 main exits to be able to have highway access. So you can see, where DeWitt lies in all of this. So if you're at the northernmost parts of DeWitt, which would be, right around here, you are going to be a little further away from highway access. If you're going to, be over in this, area, you're going to go down Airport Road, which is about a 50 to 55 mile an hour road to take you down to the highway. So you could be anywhere between 1 to 5 minutes from there. And there's really like this area right over here in DeWitt. This is where I would want to call where a lot of the businesses are, the restaurants. Might be just like your typical fast food chain. So I want to kind of zoom in a little bit here because I'm going to be focusing. So if I zoom in a little bit closer to where US 127 is, I just want you to kind of be aware of what are some of the things that are on this main corridor. So, right here, if I'm scrolling down, you're going to see I-69, right here, you're going to be taking the exit. And you have Arby's, you have McDonald's is right here, you got Subway, you got Little Caesars, you got Bob Evans, which is more of a sit-down restaurant, but there is a Bob Evans there. There's a hotel over there. There's a Taco Bell. There's a Culver's. If you're not familiar with Culver's, it's more of it's more of a Midwest chain where it's a one-stop shop that has ice cream custard there, but then you can also have burgers, and they have beef pot roast sandwiches, they have chicken fingers. It's just kind of a one-stop shop for a restaurant. So they just built Culver's as well. And then this Starbucks right here was actually just built within the last year. It's attached to a gas station convenience store. You got your Meijer here, which is where you're going to do a lot of your groceries. Meijer's a lot like Walmart. It's also a lot like Target as well. And if you look at another one of my videos, I kind of, well, actually, no, that's going to be coming in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to be explaining a little bit more of what Meijer is. And so hopefully that video, maybe that video will already be posted by the time you're watching this, maybe it won't. But this is like going to be the main corridor where you're going to find, things just kind of, every fast food place, any national chains, like you see a Walgreens right here for your pharmacy. That's going to be over here as well. So there are right here is what's known as Herbison Road. And Herbison Road, typically at certain spots, it's a 45 mile an hour road. At some spots, it's 30 to 35 miles an hour. There are some four-way stops as well. So if you're wanting to be close to all the fast food stuff, there are some neighborhoods right over in this vicinity over here, and then there's another neighborhood where they do have some newer home builds right behind where Arby's is. They do have just some neighborhoods, if that's something that's important to you, something for you just to be aware of. If I go a little further north here, I do want to point out a couple things here. Number one, if I go a little further north of where all this stuff is, here's the Draft House. I love this place. It is more of a the tavern, but they have Taco Tuesdays where they just have tacos. I believe it's like $2 a piece, and I've eaten there a few times, and the food there is great, and it's a popular place. It's not very large, and a lot of people rave about the bathrooms there. I mean, I'm not woohoo, I'm gonna go to a place just because of a bathroom, but they are a little, the bathrooms there are a little interesting, so I'll leave that for you to be able to find out if you ever do visit there. Also, if I go a little further up here, we got DeWitt Golf Center. And at DeWitt Golf Center, it's a driving range, but also it's a mini golf place. And for the size town that DeWitt is, to be able to have a miniature golf place is pretty cool. They also have a little ice cream place that you can go to. It's an outdoor pickup window, and they serve soft serve. I believe now they serve hand dipped ice cream, but it's just a cool place to be able to go to during the especially the nice spring, summer months. It's a great place to go to. If you are somebody that likes to golf, but the weather gets cold outside like it does in Michigan, this is a place that you can go to. They have indoor golfing, a simulator there that you can use as well. But they do have a driving range. So a cool little thing to be able to have, here just in our little town of DeWitt, is to be able to have a miniature golf place and an ice cream place all included in there. And kind of like I said before, if you go a little further north up here, if I continue to go up, you're going to see like this is going to take you up to St. John's. I'm not going to go all the way up, but you go further north on Old 27, that'll take you straight up to St. John's. Right here, the Looking Glass River. This is the river that also winds right into Grand Ledge, which is just west of here. You see how long this river goes as well. It just keeps going and going and going. But the other thing that you'll see too is if you live northeast in DeWitt, you'll have decent access to the main 127 corridor highway. Like let's say you live out in the country, which these lots over, this area over here is going to be a lot more properties that are in the country. So if you're going to live in this spot, you're going to have super easy access to the 127 corridor right over here. If you just travel down here and take it to the 127 interstate. Also, you continue to take these backcountry roads over here, and like basically when you're this far north into it, you will see that the northern part is more country. When you get more into where the city limits are and the different, where the township is, you will find a lot more neighborhoods and a lot more homes closer together. So there's different options that you could have into it. But now I'm going to kind of take us a little further down. Like if you were to travel on, Old 27, like let's say you got off the highway and you took Round Lake Road here. This right here is where the downtown area is. I kind of want to show you then on a map. Right here is where we are at with the downtown. So the northern part of DeWitt. Here's the other thing that before I get into the downtown and where it's at, here's the one thing to be aware of. Let's say if I live on the western part of DeWitt, which would be in this area, and I wanted to get over to where all the fast food places are, which would be this area over here, or even, a little further south, okay? So an option that you would have to be able to get over is you could take Airport Road and then take it to Ferguson Road, and then take it to all the fast food stuff, which is great. It's not that far away, but because you don't have highways, if you live on the western part and you want to get over to just a lot of the businesses in DeWitt, it's probably going to take you anywhere from 6 to 9 minutes to be able to get there. It's not going to be just 2 to 3 minutes. There is going to be, if you're going to go from one side of DeWitt to the other, it's going to take you a little bit longer. Same thing if I'm on the west side of town and I want to go to downtown. Well, I take Airport Road and I take Howe Road this whole way, which is not that far away. I mean, right here is where the downtown is. But the thing that you have to keep into perspective is I'm traveling on roads that are a lot slower, and some of them have 4-way stops. So again, that's going to take me 6 to 8 minutes. So when you're traveling within the city of DeWitt, it could take you 6 to 8 minutes to get somewhere. That's why, for some people that I know that live on the western side of town, which is over here, what they'll do is they'll just take the interstate 69, and 69 goes, if I continue to take it down this way, it takes me over to the west side of town, Delta Township. That takes me less than 10 minutes to be able to get there. And so some people are like, hey, do I go to DeWitt, the central part of DeWitt, and do I just, have a limited amount of stuff that I can do? Or do I just go down to the west side of town where there's a lot more things, a lot more restaurants, where I can get a lot more errands done over there? And I can tell you that my family, we tend to go to Delta Township a little bit more than just being right there in the city. It's in the city of DeWitt where all those fast food places are. So it's something for you to be aware of, that DeWitt, the feel of it, you're going to have your basic fast food stuff. It's not going to be like you're going to have a ton there. And if you really want to get to, some of the major retailers, some of the restaurants, some of the entertainment, that's going to be a little bit, about 10 minutes away. So right here as well, and I'm going to go back up to the downtown area here. Let me kind of change. So downtown right here in the center, and if you follow one of my DeWitt vlog tours, I did go in the downtown area. This area is a small but mighty area within DeWitt. It's located right in the center, and you can see as I continue to go a little bit closer, you will see just some cool little restaurants that are here. You got Relly's, which is an Italian place. It's a sports bar within the area. Very popular place. Great breadsticks there. You have the Looking Glass Brewery. That used to be an old church that they converted into a brewery. And, you know, that's a whole nother discussion for some people. Like, why did they do that? You know, it seems like they went from one extreme to the other. But good food there as well. Extremely popular in the summer months, especially. You got Bridge Street Social, another restaurant within the area that's very popular. I enjoy having the meatloaf there because it's not your typical meatloaf. It's a brisket meatloaf. It's great. My wife has had the truffle pasta there. And their menu changes seasonally with some of the stuff. So the truffle pasta isn't on the menu right now, but my wife loves it, and I tried it too, and it was amazing. The food there is just really good quality. And then Family Tree Cafe, which is a little bit just more your standard fare food, but a good breakfast option for a lot of people. A lot of people enjoy going there for breakfast. And, you know, you continue to go into downtown, you'll see Tin Cup Cafe and Creamery. That's a coffee shop within the area. You also got Scoopy Doo's, the ice cream store. I'm going to try to Sweetylicious, which is something it's a cool little fun fact that the owner of Sweetylicious was on the Food Network and won Best in Show for one of her pies that she baked. I believe it's like this multiple berry pie, and pies are expensive there, but they are good. And so a lot of people say it's well worth the quality. You'll see here DeWitt Downtown Farmers Market. That usually happens in the spring and summer months. Every Tuesday that they have a farmers market that happens within the downtown. We have a barber shop that's over here. Other just, you know, some hair places, you know, as well. Hungry Howie's Pizza, that's more of a national chain, but it is located within the downtown. So you can see like the downtown that is in DeWitt. That's why I say it's small and mighty, because it has some really good places within there. Not a ton of like wasted space, you know, that's over there, and it continues to grow. So right there is where the downtown area is. And what I also want to kind of show you as well as we continue to go, right here, if you go out of the downtown and you take Main Street, so I'm going from downtown, following my red line, take it and then go down this road, Shavy Road, maybe about like a couple mile road. But you take this down, there's all these neighborhoods that are over here. Like if you watch one of my vlog videos, this is where Springbrook and Springbrook Lakes are. Springbrook Hills is just north of here. And then right over in this section as well is a neighborhood that has a lake. Ooh, a lake. It's Lake Geneva. The one thing I will tell you about Lake Geneva, though, don't get your hopes up that you're going to be riding your jet ski and, you know, being able to treat it like it's an all sports lake. It's not an all sports lake. There is a certain horsepower that you're allowed to have on this lake. It is a larger lake than you know, right here you can see like Springbrook Lakes has their lake over here. I mean, it's considerably larger than that lake that I just circled. But it's cool, you know, just for the people in that neighborhood to be able to have a lake that seems bigger, but it's not quite your all sports lake that you could just hang out there for an entire weekend and just hang out in the lake all day. I mean, maybe you could if you wanted to kayak and fish and that was your thing. But also just kind of want to highlight that. And then this stretch, though, it goes 25 miles an hour on this stretch. You just feel like you're crawling. So when I bring up that it takes 6 to 8 minutes to get from one end of DeWitt to the other, I mean, there are just roads like that can go for, you know, 25, 30, 35 miles an hour, have stop signs, have stoplights. That's why it can take a little bit longer just to kind of get around the DeWitt area. The other thing I'll kind of want to highlight to you as well too, I mean, right here is Airport Road. Airport Road, why is it called Airport Road? Well, you take Airport Road all the way down, and I'm going to kind of highlight from here this.
take it all the way down, and I go further down, I go past the highway. And right here you will see the Capital Regional International Airport. So Lansing does have an airport. I would say from like where DeWitt is, it would be roughly about 6, 7, 8 minutes to be able to take Airport Road all the way down to the international airport. So that's just a cool feature to be able to have, that we have the airport that close to DeWitt. Right over here on this stretch as well is an area like, or a street known as Stoll Road. On Stoll Road, which is just south of the highway, there are some neighborhoods. Right here, you're starting to get into a different township over here, and they have a Lansing address, but it's DeWitt Schools. That area is still DeWitt Schools, but it does show a Lansing address over there. Okay, so the other thing that people like to find out about are the schools. Like, where are the schools here? So you can kind of see, like, you might have already seen it as I was going around here. You got DeWitt High School right here, the DeWitt Public Schools Superintendent Office. And then if I go in a little bit closer, you'll be able to see some of the additional. So you got the DeWitt High School football stadium right here. And then over here should be the middle school. Middle school is around this way as well. And then here is Herbison Woods Elementary School. And then here's Shavy Road Elementary School. So if you're going to have a kindergartner or first grader, they're going to go to Shavy Road Elementary School. This is where it's located. If you are, though, going to have a second or third grader, this is where you're going to get a little confused, okay? Because you would think, oh, like everything's all together. Well, they decided to change the grades that are in each and every school, and they've gotten kindergarten and first grade. Then they got a second and third grade building and a fourth and fifth grade building. So if I were to have a second and third grader, I actually would go towards the downtown area. So I go further north. You see Shavy Road here. You might be taking that if you had to go from Shavy Road Elementary up to Scott School, which is the name of the school there. So I'm taking Main Street here. I keep going. And then I'm going to take Wilson Street. So I'm taking Main. Here's the fire department. Here's where the downtown is, where I just showed you. So from either direction, you're going to take Wilson Street. And this is where David Scott School is. So the kindergarten first grade building is a little spread out from where the second and third grade building is, which is, here's the second and third grade building, David Scott Elementary School. Then if I were to, and then the fifth and sixth grade building, this is going to make things a little bit easier. So I'm taking Shavy Road down here. I'm going back down. Fifth and sixth grade building is right here, Herbison Woods Elementary School. So that's close to Shavy. So, maybe if you're planning to have a family, just have a kindergarten and first grader and have a fourth and fifth grader so that they go to those two buildings and you don't have to separate them out, I guess. But hey, when they turn into second, third graders, they're going to have to, you're going to take them to middle school and second and third grade anyway. So that's probably a lousy idea. But you kind of see what I'm meaning, like you have a kindergarten, first grade building, then second, third grades over here, then fourth and fifth right over here, and then you also got your middle school, which I don't know why they're not showing it here, but middle school is right here in this area, right off of Panther Drive. You got the middle school there, and then which maybe this will show up as DeWitt Middle School right here, and then you got the high school. So that's the proximity of all where the schools are. So if you're going to live at that Springbrooks neighborhood, that's going to be pretty close to a lot of the schools, and it's kind of a halfway point to be able to get to Scott School because you're far enough north on Shavy, and you can just kind of go into downtown and it would just be a few minutes away. But if you're like on the southern part of town, like over where off of Stoll Road there, where I showed you earlier, it's going to be a little bit of a trek for you to be able to get to, let's say, Scott School. So those are where the schools are. And then right over here is like just another, I would like to call it like a little random shopping center that DeWitt has. It's right by the schools. They have a Big B Coffee, which is a coffee shop that's more regional to the Michigan area, and they have them everywhere in the greater Lansing area. So we have one in DeWitt, it has a drive-through there. And then one of my favorite Mexican food places in all of greater Lansing, so DeWitt's included, definitely in this, is Fiesta Chara. I love the salsa. Like, I could drink salsa there. It's that good. It's a little bit more authentic. It's not your typical Tex-Mex. The owner there, super nice. I just enjoy. And from what I'm understanding, they might actually be moving over to like where all the fast food is, like moving a little further away from over there. But this center, as well as shopping center, has a doctor's office. It has an insurance office. It has commercial offices as well too. But just a nice place for you to be able to have a couple extra places that you can go to. And then also the district library is over here as well. The one thing I want to point out that I can't show here on the maps is that DeWitt has sidewalks everywhere throughout the entire city. You can take a sidewalk on any street, it will lead you directly into another sidewalk. And there's just walking paths everywhere in our area, which is awesome because you just see people walking on sidewalks everywhere you go. Kids walking to school with their parents in the morning. You just see people incorporating the sidewalks. And then even over close to the interstate exits, they made biking paths and walking paths around there. And then they included like a storybook section, which was sponsored by the library. That's why I'm kind of bringing this up. The DeWitt District Library has a rotating storybook walkway that has a new story that you can read as you go around the walking path that they have. And that is located, I want to say it's right off of DeWitt Road. So it's located this way. Like, there's some walking paths that go right around where this exit is. I think this is where the roundabout is, actually. So you kind of start off this way, and this is where the walking path area would be, and then you kind of take it back, you walk around and back around this way. So there is a walking path that's like a storybook. So it's a cool thing to be able to have. So there are walking paths everywhere in DeWitt. The other thing I would want to point out to you, and I think this is how I'm going to wrap everything up, is with DeWitt, there are 3 different taxing authorities when you're looking to buy a house in this area. So 3 different areas with 3 different millages. One of them is DeWitt City. I'm going to try to zoom out here. So one of them is DeWitt City, which that is going to primarily be close to the downtown area, which would include like just this area close by. So even Springbrook, which you saw right off of Shavy, like it's close to like where Shavy Road is, that would be included in DeWitt City. And the millage for that is about another 4 or 5 mils. Like, I want to say it's about 43 mils per $1,000 to be able to live in DeWitt City. But from what I understand with DeWitt City, they do offer free leaf pickup, that you can just rake your leaves at the edge of your driveway, and then the city comes and has a large vacuum, and just sucks all the leaves up. So I think that that's included in your millage. Whether you think it's worth it or not, I don't know. But I know that where I live in DeWitt, we don't have that option, but DeWitt City does. Then you got DeWitt Township, which basically includes everything else, and it even goes further down, because part of it can be even in Lansing area too. I mean, you're going to have this whole area, which is going to be DeWitt Township. That's going to be your largest number of people, but some of them in DeWitt Township are Lansing. That's why I can't include everybody who is in DeWitt Township as a part of DeWitt schools, or even just a part of DeWitt, because some of them do live in Lansing. And DeWitt Township, the millage for that is about 4 millages cheaper than what DeWitt Cities would be. So it's a little bit cheaper and that saves you about $5 per $1,000 in your purchase price for taxable value. Okay, and if you want to know a little bit more about property taxes, look at some of my other videos because I kind of go into a little bit further detail with explanation for that. Now, the third taxing area is located right around this. So Airport Road, if you go east, DeWitt Township. If you go west of Airport Road, that is known as Watertown Township. Watertown Township has a little bit of a cheaper millage. Watertown Township can extend into the western part where Grand Ledge schools can be. This is where Lakeside Preserve is, which is one of my neighborhoods that I featured in going around DeWitt. So, you know, with that being said, like when I look at, you know, the cheapest for taxes, Watertown Township does have a little bit of a lesser millage than DeWitt Township does, just a little bit, like by like 1 millage. But, you know, just an important thing for you to realize that DeWitt, even though like there's, you know, even though you have DeWitt and it's a smaller city, there are 3 different taxing authorities that are there. So anyway, I think that is it for my map tour here. If you have any questions on anything, again, feel free to text, call me, schedule a Zoom meeting. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave a comment there if you have questions. I'll definitely interact with you there. Also, please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so that you can be informed of anything that comes up in the greater Lansing area, including DeWitt. But I'm just gonna, you know, every week I'm gonna have 2 new videos coming out for a long time of things about the greater Lansing area. So if you want to be informed and be notified of when I come out with a new episode, hopefully this video was informative to you, just kind of giving you a feel of DeWitt. And you know, if you do want to check out any neighborhoods that are within there, there's plenty of great neighborhoods in there. I would love to be able to show you around. So until next time, make it a great day, and hope to see you soon.